The size and age of the cosmos are beyond ordinary human understanding. Lost somewhere between immensity and eternity is our tiny planetary home, the Earth. For the first time, we have the power to decide the fate of our planet and ourselves. This is a time of great danger, but our species is young and curious and brave. It shows much promise. In the last few millennia, we have made the most astonishing and unexpected discoveries about the cosmos and our place within it. I believe our future depends powerfully on how well we understand this cosmos in which we float like a mote of dust in the morning sky.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
From this distant vantage point, the Earth might not seem of any particular interest. But for us, it's different. Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust, suspended in a sunbeam. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmic arena.
Quantum mechanics implies that the whole of space is filled with pairs of virtual particles and antiparticles that are constantly materializing in pairs, separating, and then coming together again, and annihilating each other. These particles are called virtual because, unlike real particles, they cannot be observed directly with a particle detector. Now, in the presence of a black hole, one member of a pair of virtual particles may fall into the hole, leaving the other member without a partner with which to annihilate. The forsaken particle or antiparticle may fall into the black hole after its partner, but it may also escape to infinity, where it appears to be radiation emitted by the black hole. As particles escape from a black hole, the hole will lose mass and shrink. This will increase the rate of emission of particles. Eventually, the black hole will lose all its mass and disappear.
the paradigm has shifted. The multiverse idea, once thought to be so crazy it only belonged on evening night television, has now become the dominant theory in cosmology. It's unavoidable. You cannot avoid the theory of the multiverse. Now realize that Einstein gave us this idea that the universe is a soap bubble of some sort. We live on the skin of this bubble. The bubble is expanding. That's one of the greatest experimental achievements of the last century, the observation of an expanding bubble. Well, run the videotape backwards. Then the bubble may have come from an instant, a dot. The universe was smaller than a basketball. You could put the universe in your pocket. The universe was smaller than an electron. But if this bang happened once, it can happen again. And again, and again, even as we are talking. Universes may have been created even as we begin this discussion. And this is mind-boggling, realizing that entire universes may be created even as we take our shower.
Many years ago, George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there. And new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff. Falcon Heavy with Europa Clipper, unveiling the mysteries of an enormous ocean lurking beneath the icy crust of Jupiter's moon, Europa.
See, oh, we can see it coming down through the plume.
Booster coming in hot for booster catch. And ignite 13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving on the left-hand screen. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now.
Be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
There's something called a Kardashev civilization, named for Nikolai Kardashev. He's an astrophysicist. Look at the history of what we call great civilizations. One of the things that distinguishes them is their capacity to generate and consume energy. And so if that's the case, you can think of levels of civilization based on how much energy they consume. And thus was born the Kardashev scale. A civilization that's level 1 on this Kardashev scale has the power to harness the energy of its home planet. And that's extraordinary when you think about what that involves. On our home planet, there's the energy of volcanoes, of tornadoes, of hurricanes, and of earthquakes. This is Earth exhibiting a display of energy that typically we run from or die from. If we could control all of that, that would be an extraordinary state of our civilization. Tapping a volcano of its energy so that you now can use that energy to run the city that the exploding volcano would have otherwise leveled. So we're not there yet, but that would be a civilization type 1. Civilization type 2 on a Kardashev scale is, well, what else is generating energy out there? Well, our host star, the sun. So imagine we had total control over the sun's energy. Right now, we just set up a few solar panels here and there, and it's, whatever energy happens to get there on a clear day and not at night, that we're tapping some of the energy of the sun. But the sun is emitting energy in every single direction in space. So imagine you could harness all of that energy. That's vastly more energy than is contained in the Earth. That would be a civilization of extraordinary power. Would they have warp drives, wormholes? Who knows? They'd be traveling across the galaxy, between galaxies, because the energy is so plentiful, and they have access to it, and especially can control it. It's a big factor when you have access to awesome supplies of energy. That would be scale 2. 3 on the Kardashev scale would be you can control all of the energy of all the stars in your galaxy. So our galaxy, the Milky Way, has several 100 billion stars. So if you found some way to harness all of that, oh my gosh, this is, who can imagine what that is? Can you create universes? Who knows? I don't know. I can't think that far ahead.
Yes.
As far as I know, the sun is a star.
Yeah. So are the other stars smaller?
I think the other stars are smaller.
A star is a sun. A star is a sun. Yeah. So no.
Yes. I think so.
No.
Yes.
No.
No. I don't think so. I think they're like rocks.
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
correct. Are there stars? No. Correct. Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Of course.
I believe it is expanding.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course. Spaceships, etc. Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end, no dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning they. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.